Marcia,
yes.
Thank you very much for your talk, and having been so positive, I guess, especially over the last coming weeks, and I guess that relates to my question, the idea that in one sense there's been two strategies on how to sort of get across to people that this is not a good thing in regards to the bill and our parliamentarians, and I guess the way it's been reported in the media. You know, in one sense it's been protest, and I guess a very negative image of a pro-life movement, and another one being a very positive image. And I guess what your office does within the Archdiocese. I guess how do you reconcile those two ways of going about it, and you know, is it in one sense a sort of I guess the disadvantage of not being unified?
Sure, really good questions. Thank you, Tim. When I'm talking about this, I'm not saying there's only one way of doing things or that we have a monopoly on insights of John Paul II, and how we might now move forward to convert people and to bring more people with us and to convert that middle ground who is very deeply conflicted about abortion. As Jerry was mentioning earlier, like a lot of people out there don't like abortion, but they still don't have a lot of the facts and they don't know a lot of the things that we know about it. And so I guess in this approach, I'm hoping that, like John Paul II, we can begin a dialogue with them that sometimes we can't do by protesting. Now, there might be a time and a place for protesting, but I don't think we can just say, well, I'm going to just protest. What I'm suggesting is that we have to become the people of life and love, and we have to take this message to everywhere we go, to our workplaces, to our conversations late at night when someone's talking about abortion or wherever it is, so that we actually start to convert hearts and to transform that culture. I'm not saying there hasn't been a good place for protesting, but often in protesting, we're not actually converting anyone, and I want us to convert people now. I don't want our children and grandchildren to still be trying to battle abortion. I want us to learn from America, from overseas, from the things that actually work, and try and make a real difference in the world, and not just do things because that's what we've always done.
Okay. I have a question which isn't an old one. I'm sure you've been asked many times before, but I'm sure you're aware that Amnesty International has now started supporting, in some respects, abortion.
Yes.
In particular to do with women who have ectopic pregnancies, and ectopic meaning either in the fallopian tube or even outside the uterus. I suppose I've got two questions. One is, I'm sure you may have had experience with women who have had abortions because of ectopic pregnancies, which may lead to the mother's death or certain death of the baby. How does a mother feel about aborting a child who may die? I'm not sure, will the baby die in ectopic pregnancy or not?
Usually the fallopian tube will burst if nothing's done.
Too late for that.
In Catholic teaching, we wouldn't ever act with an intent to harm anyone. We may, and there's great debate about this, whether we can do this, but there's some theologians that think that it's okay to remove the tube where the embryo is lodged, and there's others that think, no, we can never intentionally act to end that child's life. The secular world would give drugs or just remove the tube and wouldn't worry about it, but we have big issues, like that's a huge area for us. But moving on to Amnesty, and to your question about what about women who've had abortions where the child is going to die, or they've been told the child will die. Again, for whatever the reason a woman has an abortion, I think most are profoundly affected by it at some point or will be. A lot of the research is coming in now to say that at least 10 to 20% of women who've had abortions suffer some kind of psychological consequences as a result at some point. And so that can be whether it's been for whatever reason, whether there was something wrong with the child or not. I think some of those, and we've got a pamphlet on this called The Myth of the Perfect Child you might like to read. Some of those women who have a late-term abortion where there's suspected fetal abnormality may suffer very greatly because that child has been a wanted child. And then they've been told they can't keep it, they mustn't keep it, this isn't viable, whatever. And often, I think, are bullied into terminating before they've really had time to think about it. And I think some of them suffer very greatly as a result too. The question on amnesty, yes, we've been very saddened to see Amnesty take a pro-choice position, and so the church has withdrawn its support for amnesty, and a number of people around Australia and overseas now have set up another group where we're encouraging people to support that, another similar group called the Benson Foundation. And again, Amnesty's been infiltrated by a number of pro-choice women basically, and they've set about changing the policy, which is very sad. Yes.
Thanks, Marcia. Fantastic. We're obviously at a stage now where we've looked at the bill has been passed and so forth. Now we're in a zone where we have nurses and hospitals, Catholic hospitals and staff, very much, they're in the limelight. What can we do to support that? What can we do to get ready to, it's obviously going to be a huge thing now. So.
Yes, thank you for that question. We're still pondering all the implications and working out what to do there. But if I could ask you to pray for all those people who are in the firing line now. It may be that the pro-choice and the abortionists will target a number of them. And so we're looking to ways now we can help protect them and that they won't be left vulnerable to court cases. A number of medical people now may not have medical insurance covering them, so many of those who have been working with us over the last month could be very vulnerable because once something's now lawful and if they refuse to participate in that, it may be that their medical insurance will no longer cover them. So we may have to look then into will anyone overseas cover them and to supporting them, because quite likely now we will have court cases and we will have to defend them, and we may be looking for funds to help defend them, like with various Catholics have challenged the High Court or the court decisions in Canada as well, and we will be taking a lot of this, I think, to human rights and international bodies now, because this really is an attack on our religious freedom. Yes.
Marcia, am I correct in saying that the Victorian Charter for Human Rights does not cover this new legislation? Is there some disclaimer in the abortion legislation that says that it doesn't count?
That's what a number of people are trying to say, David, yeah. But I'm not sure on the outcome of it all yet. There's lots of work to be done on all this. But that's certainly what some people are claiming, yeah.
And lastly, just wanted to thank you again, Marcia, and present you with a small gift as a token of appreciation. Please enjoy a few more drinks, and we'll see you next month.